Welcome to History Nuts. I'm Russ Carson Jr., founder of Family Tree Nuts. At Family Tree Nuts, we build family trees for people, and we produce videos at historic locations and videos that help to honor your ancestors.
I'm Jameson Cable, founder of the Kentucky History Podcast, where we talk about anything Kentucky history, events, people. If it has to do with Kentucky, we're going to discuss it.
And we've teamed up together to bring you History Nuts.
History Nuts is a live show where we talk about, you guessed it, history.
Right. History seems to be less and less to people today, but we are trying to do everything we can to keep it alive.
Absolutely. History is a passion of ours for sure, but it connects to you. Russ, tell us about the best part of the show.
You can join in. You can comment and ask questions live.
We've got a great topic today, and we know you're going to enjoy this episode of
History Nuts.
Yes, and we are live. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy late St. Patrick's Day, Jameson.
Hey, we're just one day late, but you can still celebrate, as far as I understand, right?
Absolutely.
We celebrate until the weekend.
We celebrate St. Patrick's Day all the time around here in my house. But what'd you do for St. Patrick's Day, man?
What did I do? I went to work. I came home, took the dog out, played with the dog, played with the kids, went to bed early. Nothing eventful.
Daggone Roni, and on a Wednesday, you know, mine wasn't very eventful either by far. So it's been pretty eventful. I've been to Chicago for St. Patty's. We've been here, we've been there. Actually, to be quite straight up honest with you, today I was supposed to be in Cork in Ireland, and
that's right.
Which is where my direct male line ancestors lived at and left from. But daggone Roni, man, know, here I am in Kentucky.
Hey, so congratulations, happy anniversary here in the next. Is it already passed, or is it coming up in the next days?
That was old there, yeah.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thanks, yeah, 25, man. 25,
impressive.
Yeah. You know, you can't get any better than me, right?
That's right.
Yeah, man. Guys, we've got a spectacular show that I'm stupid excited about. I've been excited about it since we talked about doing it about a month ago. It's definitely something that is me, you know, and it's probably most of the people that are watching this. It's very much them too. But
do we? I was going to say, do we hesitate to say, hey, chime in on if you're connected to this? Because will we get just too many comments flooded of yes, thumbs up? Is that is that too risky? Or go ahead, let us know if you're connected.
Let's hit it. I'd love to see your your comments of what clans that you're from, which surnames belong or Irish or Scots-Irish or Scottish even, but we're going to talk about that. So a lot of people are confused. I think you said in the beginning, you used to think Scots-Irish was Lucky Charms.
Yeah. So, that's probably a good, I guess you could probably address the misconception here. When I see Scots-Irish or just anything Irish, I'm thinking, oh, Lucky Charms, pot of gold, the leprechaun gimmick, all that stuff. But is that the case, or how's that go? How's that fall?
No. Yes. Not really, but maybe. Yeah. That's the best way to talk about it, right? Yeah. Make sure you guys chime in. Let us know your clans, your Celtic surnames, and where you're watching from. I see Earlene. He's watching from Alabama.
Yeah. Let us know where you're currently at. Not only where you came from.
Yeah. Right. That's for sure. So, I guess in the beginning we need to figure that out. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so who are they? Who are the Scots-Irish? What are we? Who we talking about? Who we thinking? Or just what are the misconceptions? Who are they? Tell us that.
Well, that's a long story, kind of thing. That's a long story, but some people will say they're the most resilient peoples on earth. They're the most unique people, and they actually molded America, and America became them. That's a neat thing to think about there. Remember that.
Yes.
And, you know, that they molded America and America became them. And we'll talk about some of those things that are out there. First things first, it's Scots-Irish, not
Scotch.
not Scotch.
Oh.
Scotch is something different.
Oh yeah, that's the drink, right?
Scotch is that thing that you were doing before you got on the show. It's Scotch.
Scotch.
Yes, Scots, not Scotch, not Scotch tape. It's Scots, and that obviously means that it has a connection to Scotland, right?
There we go. There we go. So what else though? What else is mixed in there? I mean, there's Scots and Irish. So what else is brewed in that pot?
Well, it's a little bit of English there too. You know, there's a little bit of English that's in there, but some of those definitions. If somebody is, you can help me out here. If somebody is Irish. Where are their people from?
Ireland. Is that correct?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Where in Ireland?
Where in Ireland?
Yes.
Welsh? Or no? That's England. That's England.
No, it's not England either. It's Welsh.
Oh. Where at Dublin?
Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Basically, minus the 6 counties in Northern Ireland that would be from Ireland, but it is also the 6 counties in Northern Ireland. So that's Ireland, you know, kind of thing. And I think it's important that when we start here, we talk about the different names because, like you said, everybody lumps them in together. So somebody that's Irish is from Ireland. They're also from Northern Ireland too. So looks like you got
Ulster, is that how you say it? Am I saying that right? Ulster?
Yeah.
Ulster Scott?
Well, that's not Irish, actually. It is Irish, but it's not Irish. It's Northern Ireland, and it's Scots-Irish. So, yeah, we're getting everybody real confused now, aren't we?
We got a great one here. Honestly, I don't know what I am, but I visited Ireland in 2013.
All right. She doesn't know. Is it a man, her, or him?
Her. I'm 80 years old, and well, we'll go back when I get my money saved. I love those people, and they treated us like we're loved. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, probably because you're probably your cousins, and I know some people that can help you find out what you are. So I know some people that can help you out to do that. But so let's Irish is too hard to figure out who they are. Scottish. Who are the Scottish?
From Scotland, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And then
in northern, British Isles kind of thing. You think of Braveheart and the Highlander. This kind of thing. That's what everybody thinks of. Who are the Scots-Irish?
That would be the people from Scotland and Ireland, correct? That came together. Is that
to make a new race of people, and that's what the whole show's about here, which we're going to talk about, of course. And then you got Celtic. What is Celtic?
Oh, see, I want to say Celtic, but that's different, right?
That's the basketball team.
Yeah. That's another part of this area, Scotland. Is that in Scotland? Maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's the 7 nations, the 7 Celtic nations, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But it is Irish, it is Scottish, it is Welsh. It is Mansk, it is Brittany. We'll go that. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but that's what Celtic is. Celtic is all of that stuff that's not English. That is British Isles and other places too. What is Welsh?
Welsh is part of England, correct? Or English? No. Oh man, this is getting confusing. Why don't they call this all just one place?
That's what I'm getting at here. Yeah, Wales is its own place, and Wales is a Celtic kingdom. Celtic.
I should know. See, for all you soccer people out there, you know this as much as I do. Welsh has its own, federation. Team that play cup or the UEFA league, all that kind of stuff. Instead of England has England, but there's also Welsh instead of just one big thing. And there's a Northern Ireland for soccer people. That's how it goes. But
we're getting that. We're getting that. Well, who are the English then? Who's England? I keep telling you no.
No.
Who's
Britain? Is Britain England? Where are we at? Or are we just going?
Yes, Britain is England, but it's also Wales and Scotland.
We need a map. We need a map.
Yes, that's kind of my point there. Britain is the whole area right there.
Mm-hmm.
So English is from England and England only. And if you call someone from Scotland English or someone from Wales English, they will not be happy with that. You know, they will call you. That's like calling somebody from around here a Tennessee volunteer.
True, boy. Yeah.
They are not the same thing at all. Different.
Unless you're watching right now, you're okay.
Right. And then Northern Ireland. What is Northern Ireland?
That is the northern part of Ireland, right?
Yep. That's also Ulster.
It's its own place, right? It's its own. It's its own place, though, right? It's its
own place.
Yes.
What is British? When somebody says they're British, what is British?
I'm gonna say English, Welsh, and Scottish. Does that sound right? Is that?
And Northern Ireland.
Oh, and Northern Ireland. That's right. There we go.
Yeah. So they're British, but they're not English. It's okay to call someone that's from Scotland British, but don't call them English, kind of thing. Bad.
Gotcha.
And then lastly, there's the United Kingdom,
which loops everybody in.
Not everybody we've talked about.
Not Ireland.
Not Ireland. They are not part of the United Kingdom. They will be very, very, very adamant. I could sing you about 37 songs about how much they hate England. You know, so right. That's a bad thing right there. So Great Britain, of course, is England, Scotland, and Wales, and Northern Ireland kind of thing, and they're also British. So Northern Ireland is its own thing, but it's also Irish, and the Irish very much want it to be back part of Ireland. And I could sing you a dozen songs about that. But anyway,
well, we got a few comments here. Joe says, Marshall, is that not saying that right? Not saying feuding cousins. But then we got some Celtic nation Celtic. Wales people from Wales is Cheryl, and Joe says, I know you all hate it when I say it. You are on islands. You all come from elsewhere.
Yeah,
that's true.
But I only come from a couple places. That's for sure. But
so where did this all start?
The Celts.
Celts. Where does this all start at?
Yeah, Lori says she has Donegal and County Laos, Ireland, and the red hair and freckles to prove it. You know the red hair? Where's that red hair come from? Think of Ireland, right?
Ireland, I assume. Yes.
I now think it's from the Vikings. The red hair comes.
Oh yes, yeah, that's very true. Which we'll get into that here in a minute. Actually.
Yeah, this could be 37 episodes. I'm trying to very much keep it very short here.
We're 15 minutes in, and we've went through 2 note points, maybe.
Right. But I love this stuff for sure. The Celts are originated. Well, I guess we all originated from Adam and Eve, but in Central Europe, that's where the Celts lived. You see all the different Celtic knots and the Celtic symbols and jewelry and things like that. It's an ancient race of people. And as human migrations and wars of peoples and things like that, the Celts were driven west into Western Europe as far as they could go. Some of them intermingled with the rest of Europe and stuff, became Germans, Italians, whatever, French, whatever. But the people that remained true Celt were all the way to the far west of Europe, and it becomes what we call today the 7 Celtic nations. Some people say the 6 Celtic nations, but there's actually a 7th. Do you know those 7 Celtic nations?
I know a few. I probably don't know them all. I'm going to go with Scotland.
That's one, by golly.
I'm going to go with Wales, Ireland.
Yes.
Then I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose the rest of them there. Galicia.
It's Galatia.
Galatia. Okay.
Let's bring that one up last. Let's bring that one up last.
We'll skip over that one. Cornwall.
Yes. You know what Cornwall is?
I don't know where Cornwall is.
Cornwall, if you look at the British, the United Kingdom, the British Isles right there.
Yeah.
The far western tip that stretches way out. There's Cornwall out there. And yeah.
And then there's so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and an island or something like that. What's that one?
The Isle of Man.
There we go.
The Isle of Man is a pretty large island. It's actually in between England and Ireland over there. Mm-hmm. It's in the Irish Sea there. Had their own kings and things like that in the past. So the Isle of Man is definitely one of the 7 Celtic nations.
And then Britain.
Brittany.
I mean, yes, Brittany.
Brittany. We know how many Brittany's do you know?
Too many.
And how many of those Brittany's know what Brittany is?
I doubt any. I would say that they think they are Brittany. That's it.
Right. Jeff lost it there. Jeff said that it's from County Louth. I think his people were from. What is this? Keenan's come
Cross County. Yeah.
From County Louth. And you see that?
Finley.
I talk too much. You read the comments.
I'm watching from Missouri. Kerrigan, Gibbon, Finney, and several others. I'm watching from Missouri. So there you go.
Yeah, those sound like Irish names for sure. Mm-hmm. And so Brittany, do you know what country modern day Brittany is in right now?
I do not. No.
France.
Oh, okay.
People's mind,
where
the Britons came from. It's a little tip that sticks out there of France, and that's where the Britons come from. Great Britain, that kind of thing. That's where they came from. And finally, what's the last one I said we bring it up at the end?
Galatia. So is this the one that's kind of the odd one, or the one that's off the path there? Why is it a controversial one or unknown?
Because we'd be out here a long time and of you guessing, trying to figure out what country Galatia's in. So, do you have any idea?
I'm gonna go with maybe Spain, maybe, or
you got it, brother. And what's cool about that is there's a modern dialect that's Celtic language. It's it's closer to Irish language than it is to Spanish. So, and those people that live there. So those people that are there in Spain are very, very, very Celtic people.
Gotcha.
And because of that, it's a thing that really messes with DNA when you're doing people's DNA. A lot of times, how I got Iberian in me? How am I Iberian, which is Spain and Portugal? How am I Iberian, but also Irish? That makes no sense. That's a big clue right there. But that's another show. So that's the 7 Celtic nations. If you look at them on a map, they're completely the far west of Europe and things like that. They have their own language and things. So basically pushed all the way back, and now we roll into the Romans.
Mm-hmm. They caused some trouble, or at least they did a lot of fighting.
Yeah, they did a lot of conquering, kind of thing. But there's one place they did. I think was it Julius Caesar that moved into the British Isles and things. He conquered modern day England and things, and there's tons of Roman ruins that are in Great Britain and things, but there's one area that he just could not conquer. Do you know where that is?
That would be Scotland, Ireland.
You got it.
Scotland.
Yes, he could not conquer Scotland, and he built Hadrian's Wall. People think that the wall was to kind of to keep this, to keep the Scottish people safe from the British, but it was really to keep them safe from the Scottish. Which,
William Wallace and them, they's taking it to them, right?
Well, you're about 1,000 years
Too early.
1,000 years down the road. That's about 1,300 when we get into 1297, I think. We're right about the year 300. Yeah, Hadrian's walls that keep the Scottish out. You know, the Scots, the Scotty tribes, and the Picts that were up there, and you know they came to battle painted in blue a lot of times. And how much clothing did they wear?
Not much at all, right?
Yeah, it's my kind of people, that's for sure. In the nude, man. Fight in the nude. I bet that would scare the heck out of you, though, wouldn't it?
Well, it would frighten you, I believe. You know, that would put some fear in some people's eyes. These guys don't even have any clothes on.
Especially if it was the two of us. So, yeah. So they could not conquer. Put up Hadrian's Wall, block it out. That's the thing that Scottish people are very proud of. And this is all coming back to the Scots-Irish, I promise. We're getting ready to come back to them. We're just trying to paint the picture of who the heck these people are in the first place, right?
Yep.
But next, you have some invaders of your buddies, the Germans, the Angles, and the Saxons.
There we go. And it causes big battles. And on top of this, all this time as well, is Vikings are starting to show up, I believe, around this time as well to invade.
And well, about 100 years or so after the Angles and Saxons, but yes, in our world, yes, very similar time.
And I'm going to make a plug here. You know, this is if you ever want to watch a cool show, it's called The Last Kingdom. Have you ever watched it? You ever watched The Last Kingdom? You get on Netflix, BBC, but it is all about whenever the Vikings are coming over. You know, you got the Anglos, the Saxons. It's all right in that time. Really good show. Very violent and gory as well. So
the Anglos are what the Mexicans called the white Texans, right? So.
Is it?
Yeah, you got the Angles and the Saxons. Do you know where they came from?
Which ones?
Well, you know, you got what does Anglo-Saxon mean? What is that?
That would be, I don't know. What is that?
Well, actually, there's an area, you know, Anglia and Saxony. Those areas are in northern Germany and actually like western Denmark.
Gotcha.
They're Germanic tribes that left their area and conquered Britain. Now, I'd be willing to say that most folks have no clue that actually happened. You know, they're about, I think, 600 A.D. These tribes come in there and they push the Britons, the Celtic tribe of the Britons, out and back. They eventually intermarry with them. And Angles and Saxons create the nations of East Anglia, Mercia, Wessex, and Essex. And
yes, that's the whole the Last Kingdom. That's what it's all about. Like Wessex.
There's a TV show, right?
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's all about Wessex and all that. Yeah, man, it's a really good show. But anyway.
Yeah, well, and about that same. That's great. Yeah, I have to check that out because right about that same time is when the Norsemen started to invade too. You know, and
Alfred the Great. Somebody just popped in and said Alfred the Great. Yes, Alfred the Great. That's the whole time. That's when it's happening. Yep.
Right. I think Alfred, isn't he the uniter? He's uniter of kingdoms. To create the kingdom of England. You know, during that time, for basically united of the kingdoms to fight the Norsemen that were constantly invading this area and Scotland and Ireland at the same time. So when people ask me, what am I? Are you English? Are you Irish? Are you this? I say I am Northern European, you know, kind of thing, because that's the only thing you really can say if you're from the British Isles. You know, are you Viking? Yes. Are you Scandinavian? Yes. Are you German? Yes. Are you English?
All there.
Are you Scottish? Yes. Are you Irish? Yes. And I am definitely Scots-Irish. You know, we're almost to the Scots-Irish, you know, kind of thing. But yeah. So now
we're moving. Oh, we got some comments here. Alfred the Great was one of them. Lillian says, doing good teaching about history. So thank you, Lillian. I think talking about Alfred the Great, I think it was in the last season of Vikings. You know, TV show plugs, you know.
I think he's supposed to be Ragnar's boy, right? You know,
Ragnar.
something like that.
Uhtred. But anyway, Josh says I'm 48% British and Irish, according to my DNA test. I supposedly come from Mayo, Donegal, Dublin. These are Cork, Kerry, Galloway, Sligo, Limerick, Roscommon, countries in Ireland. So
counties in Ireland.
Counties in Ireland. So that's awesome, a lot.
And he's all over the map. I know where those counties are, and he's all over it. You know, he's that guy right there is a Irish dude for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
All right, so keep going. Where are we headed to now? The noblic titles, is that where we're getting at? Some crowns? Are we starting to merge together?
Yeah, because this whole time Ireland's just chilling out over there. You know, all these centuries that we're talking about, they were definitely invaded by Norsemen and things, but not so much the English. The English and the Scots were pretty much fighting the Norsemen all the time and becoming them also, and themselves. But England and Scotland, now that they've united the kingdoms, are starting to fight each other, you know, to take each other nonstop. And if you live, this is where it's very important. If you live in that borderlands right there, you live a life of fighting and a culture of fighting. Your people did for hundreds and hundreds of years, nonstop. Yeah. So like you said, they eventually King James. The crowns were united between Scotland and England. He liked the he liked the border Scots. They were rowdy people, man. They were the rednecks, the outlaws. They stealing cows.
The tavern people.
Yeah. They were they were like your people in
Rockcastle people. Rockcastle people. Yeah. Say it, it's okay.
but originally the Scots liked the border Scots and that type of things. But once they united the crowns, King James, which is the King James Bible, that's a whole nother story right there. King James II was tired of all the riffraff over there. He needed to create a control there. He was also trying to conquer Ireland at the same time. And he thought he could kill two birds with one stone. And I think it was in 1610, he created the Ulster colony in Northern Ireland. He took 6 counties in Northern Ireland and moved riffraff, mostly poor Scots, into Ireland.
There you go.
And everything went hunky-dory.
Oh, yeah. Smooth sailing from there, right? Oh.
Yeah, but what religion? Do you know what religion the Scottish were?
So we got Protestants and Catholics around this time, right? Yeah. So if we're talking about Scottish, I'm going to say Catholics. Presbyterians. Oh, yeah. Okay. Presbyterians and Catholics. Well, okay, yeah.
Which were a problem for the Church of England in England.
Because they are a bit more Catholics during this time, right?
But what about the Irish that was there in Northern Ireland? What were they?
They would have been Catholics. They would have been Catholic, right? No?
Right. So you transplant all these people that are not like you.
That always works out, right?
Yeah. I mean, they were their racial cousins, you know, but very, very similar backgrounds and things. But these guys are Protestant and we're Catholic and vice versa. So it was massive conflict, massive battles, massive fightings between people and things like that.
Well, you bring up that, and we're talking about 1600s, all that sort of thing. You got Catholics and Protestants, big conflict in Europe then, and really the Protestants were probably kind of, I guess, probably in most cases the lower class, looked down upon. But then if you fast forward 200 years or so in America, it's crazy because it flips, because the Protestants came to America. And then you had all these Catholics started coming over, and it was reversed. The Catholics were all looked down upon, and just just an interesting kind of side note. But
absolutely, it really is. And that's a good example of how colonization worked and things, for sure. And one thing I forgot to bring up, and this is very important at the end of the show here, but the people that lived on the borders of Scotland, remember we talked about they were constantly at war and constantly fighting with people. Man, they were not loyal to anybody except their clan.
Yeah.
You know, clan is what is a clan anyway? What do you know what a clan is?
Well, I mean, in just technical terms, would be a group of people who support and help each other out. It could be, you know, you could even say maybe like a Native American tribe. You know, that would be that's an extent would be a clan. But yeah, I mean, a governing body of a group of people. Would that? I mean, that sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah, but yeah, in the Celtic clans, you know, it's racial. It's family.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and there would be a clan like Clan MacPherson, for example, which is my father's side's clan, but under each clan there was a lot of what they call seps, SEPT, seps, which is sub names that are your cousins. And it's basically a group of people that have intermarried amongst each other.
Yeah.
Thing. So you are loyal to your clan 100%. You're not really loyal to your duke. You're not your marquis, your count, your king kind of thing. It depends on how your clan is leaning. You're loyal 100% to your clan, and that's it.
That's right.
That's going to become important here in the end.
So real quickly, we got a few more comments here. Joe says, yeah, it's King Alfred the Great of Wessex and Marcia born 801, House of Cedric. And then Joe also said there's plenty of brothers killing brothers or uncle to be leader of the clan too. You know, there's definitely a lot of infighting for power as that goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You ready to take us a quick break?
Yeah, I guess we're at that point. Stay with us, guys. Stay with us. We got a lot of good stuff coming here. Really, the meat and potatoes of this. Literally potatoes.
Frances Jane Coombs, around 1745, in Charles County, Maryland. Maybe. Well, her husband was born in Charles County, Maryland. This could be the case for Jane as well, or they could have met after William moved to Virginia. The name is unknown, but it could be Lancaster, Greenleaf, Greenwell, or Mills. Another debate is about her first name. In some cases, she is referred to as Frances, in others as Jane. I'm going to refer to her as Jane because the first time I saw her name was at Fort Herod, where she
I think we're back.
We're back. I was about to say, oh man, the internet is out. I was like, the internet is out.
Dude, this is an example of live. So example of live. Yeah, everything's live. But make sure, folks, this is a great place to talk about that. That's those stories are on your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting. I was hoping to get a spot there with Jane Coombs. She fits into this story as well. Her relatives came from, Ireland, Scotland, and those four. And some of the names, I don't know. I don't have them right off the top of my head. I was going to listen to them on the video and be like, hey, these are some names, and they are all line up with, some Scotland. I would say Scot-Irish clans or Scots-Irish clans, and just those names, I guess. But yeah, go check the History channel on YouTube. Subscribe. We're almost got 500 subscribers.
All right,
that's the goal at the moment. So, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Potatoes, right?
You could be great to listen to anytime, and check us out too. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. It's free. You can watch any of Jameson's videos or our team here at Family Tree Nuts videos anytime you want, kind of thing. So yeah, moving on.
So where we're at?
Potatoes, yeah, that's right. So about 1610, they start taking a bunch of Scots and putting them in Ireland, and they're fighting and battling with the Irish.
Mm-hmm.
But they're
Not
also
very much expected. But go ahead.
well, are they completely separate?
Well, no, they wouldn't really be completely separate, would they? I mean, they would be related in ways, right?
Without a doubt, there's a tremendous amount of intermarrying. So if you ask, are the Scots-Irish Irish? Yes. Are they Scottish?
Gotcha.
Yes. Is English in there? Yes. Are they Irish? Maybe not.
There you go. So we're getting though to America, right? They've been messing around in Europe.
About 100 years, a lot of fighting, a lot of intermarrying, and things like that. And then we get to about 1720 to 1725. A tremendous amount of Scots-Irish are transplanted to the United States. Do you know why they came?
Is this the potato famine? I mean, is that the right time, or is that too early?
Yeah, that would be about 110 years later.
Yeah, and that's another thing. We talk about like misconceptions. I always lump that all in as one. Like potato famine happened, all these Irish people came in, but that's not the case. It's like completely separate, almost two different waves, right?
Absolutely, two different peoples, two different.
Yeah, that's even better. Yeah,
it's North Carolina and Pennsylvania, kind of thing. It's that much of a difference of peoples that were coming over. It was 110, 20 years later, but you're right. Everybody lumps it in together as that they're all the same thing. And then they start doing their family trees and wondering, wait a minute, I thought we came probably in 1835, 1837 during the potato famine. No. Your butt came over here in 1722, and they were Scots-Irish, not Irish.
Yep.
But
why?
Why'd they come?
Well, we kind of mentioned it a little bit before. I mean, it's going to fall into Protestants, correct? And Catholics. Is that the problem?
Yeah, definitely was a problem. It's one way to solve the problem there, but there was, you and I both agree,
of course,
that land companies, they were recruited. Hey, man. You don't have a whole lot of anything here. You've got your people's been here for 3-4 generations. How about I give you 500 acres?
There you go, and go survey it, check it out, settle there.
Well, the main part of the story is, and I'm going to very much paraphrase this very, very quickly, is you've got the English establishment and the English colonies along the Atlantic Ocean, and what's just west of them?
Mountains, wilderness, the unknown, to say it in a way.
Native Americans.
The Native Americans, yeah, Native Americans.
We're constantly at war with them. So, how can we stop these guys from constantly kicking our butt? Let's bring over some of these poor Scots-Irish, put them a little bit west of us, and let them deal with it. Kind of thing. Now, this is important because these people were brought into an area that was basically a hotbed, absolute wilderness, and forced to live in the western parts. When they came into the establishments, they didn't want them living in Eastern Virginia. They didn't want them living in Philadelphia.
They wanted them in I guess you would say like the backcountry, the wilderness, the western part, the unknown in a sense, right?
Yes, that's where they stuck them. They put them out there, gave them all this land and things, but they had to carve it from scratch. These people didn't have jack, man. They didn't have anything, and they carved a society from absolute nothingness. And the whole time, they constantly were fighting for it, which is nothing different than they had done for hundreds of years.
Yeah. That would be a unusual transplant to say, hey, come over here. You've been fighting over here for a long time. Why don't you go over here and fight for your life as well?
Right. They didn't know anything different, man, And this is one reason why people that really know their Scots-Irish are so daggone proud about it, because of what they had to do to survive and to make a living throughout all different generations. I'm getting kind of excited here, but but
Calm down. Get your drink. Calm down. Calm down.
drinking water. Yeah. But so anyway, they settle in western Pennsylvania. Well, no, they settle in central Pennsylvania and central Virginia, originally in 1720s, 1730s, which is absolute backcountry.
Yep.
And after about a generation or so, they start to migrate even further west into Virginia and down into North Carolina, into Yadkin Valley. And Juanita Harris Grimm, we're proud still. You're daggone right, man.
We got a few more here. Patty says, enjoying this from Texas. I'm a descendant of several border river families. Reaver families. Ulster, am I saying that right? I think I mispronounced that earlier. Did I mispronounce that? Ulster, okay. Ulster, Scots-Irish. And then we got replying to, we got somebody, Vanessa says, I have Skaggs, Witt, Warmbington. Oh man, some of these Fouts and so many more. DNA says I'm Scottish Irish mostly. So quite a bit there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And these comments that are coming in are not a surprise at all, because people that really know their history and things know that they're Scots-Irish.
There you go. Yep. So we're in the backcountries, fighting off Native Americans. We're talking about, just one just popped up, Henry, daughter of Henry the Long Hunter Skaggs. I was just about to say, who were some of these people that we know of that were going into the backwoods?
Almost all of these people that were Scots-Irish were the people that you and I have been talking about for many months.
We're talking about Simon Kenton.
Yep.
Daniel Boone.
Most definitely Daniel Boone.
Henry Skaggs.
Yes.
Skaggs
was German though, but don't quote me on that one. But
yeah.
Well, I forgot to bring that up. The Germans
were also settling in there. Yeah.
At the same time and mixed in with the Scots-Irish.
Yep.
Dab of English, but we won't.
So all these people are migrating. Did the Scots-Irish, did they ever become established in America? They blazed the trail to Kentucky for sure, and onward west. Did they ever become established?
Definitely, and we're going. That's kind of like my last.
Am I jumping ahead too much?
That was kind of like my last thing there. Yeah.
I'm itching to bring up your boy. That's all it is.
Well, we're almost there. We're almost to him. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, a little bit of Germans, and basically these people became wild. They lived like Native Americans. They dressed like Native Americans. They fought like Native Americans, and it became a subgroup or a sub-race of people within the country that out there on the back country. And this is not just Scots-Irish, but it is a whole lot Scots-Irish that settled in there. And they also intermingled tremendously with the Scots-Irish. This is why so many people, man, I'm not kidding. If I had a nickel for every time I heard somebody say their great-great-grandmother's full-blooded Cherokee, I'd be a rich, rich man.
Yeah.
Because the stories are probably true, but they're clear back in the mid-1700s. It wasn't your great-great. It was probably your seventh great-grandmother. But they definitely mixed and mingled with the Native Americans there in Virginia, North Carolina, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And we got Lavana said that DNA has shown that Skaggs originated in the Isle of Man.
Nifty. I like it.
There you go.
I wasn't sure. I'm glad to have.
Yeah, man, he's straight from the Scots-Irish. So
yeah, definitely a Celt. I like that a lot. So and one thing about these people is they're not very mixed up. Today, they're not very mixed up. If you go to Michigan, say,
Yeah.
You're going to find people that have they're Polish, they're English, they're Jewish, they're Russian, they're Czech, they're Italian.
Very diverse. Very diverse. As in not only in population, but lineage, I guess.
Yes,
Ancestry. Yeah.
not here,
Mm-hmm.
and not well. And I say here, I mean Appalachia. Appalachia is very, very, very not mixed up, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why that is?
I would assume, transportation. I would assume, geographically, not a lot of moving going on.
Right. Well, they were landlocked, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you follow the migrations of the United States, after the Revolutionary War, right there during it, we were poured into Kentucky. A generation later, we went to Indiana and Illinois.
Yep.
Wasn't very long, much longer. We were headed to Missouri. Then we were down to Texas in the 1830s, 1840s. We're headed to Oregon and California and things like that. And then at about 1880s to 1910, you had a massive pouring in of Eastern Europeans and things that were coming into, but they all stayed north. They didn't go to Appalachia. They didn't go to the, so that's why this people is so connected. It's so itself. And we're going to get into who they are. Yeah. We're ready for that now, actually. You want to bring up my boy?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say too, it's interesting. I wonder if it was, talking about the Eastern European people coming in, if it was strictly that they didn't want to, I guess, endure the travel to say like Eastern Kentucky or Central Kentucky, so they settled in the more places they were able to, I guess, get to that were easier. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Why would you? Yeah, settle in the plains, man. Don't settle on that hillside. Be a real pigeon hunter like those people in Rockcastle.
Yeah. So your boy.
Yeah. So
they do get established. Scots-Irish established. They make a name for themselves.
Big time. The biggest person, the biggest name in this is probably my favorite human being, besides Jesus Christ, I guess, who was a god, or the God, but is Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson is part of that migration. As people came through, ended up settling in the backcountry in North Carolina. And during the American Revolution, he lost his father, he lost his mother, he lost a couple of his brothers, and he's just a 13-year-old boy. And do you know this story?
As far as a 13-year-old boy, not necessarily. No. Let's hear it.
He was captured by the British.
Oh.
And this little story right here is a micro. This sums up the Scots-Irish in a heartbeat, man. He's captured by the British, and a British officer tells young 13-year-old Andrew Jackson to shine his boots. Andrew Jackson absolutely refuses. He absolutely, all kinds of threats. Absolutely refuses. The officer took the side of his saber and smacked him right upside his face with it. Kind of thing.
Did he lose part of his ear because of it?
Some people say that, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure on that one, but I have heard that story right there. But that's a microcosm, man, of the English establishment constantly trying to subjugate the Scottish, the Irish, the Scots-Irish, and he said no.
It is that constant, I guess, putting them down, beneath you kind of mentality. And, again, the fighting spirit. I mean, you cannot deny Andrew Jackson had a fighting spirit. So it was definitely in him, bred in him.
Yes, and this is not an Andrew Jackson show, so I'll be very brief here. But here he is, a 13-year-old boy that's a daggone has no family or nothing kind of thing. And he was a massive self-made man that came from nothing. He wasn't part of the blue blood establishment that the rest of the presidents and rich people were from, and becomes the most powerful man in the country, the president of the United States.
There you go. That's pretty impressive. So, you can kind of accomplish anything as far as you're willing to work for it. And he would definitely be one of those people who got things done. So what about the Scottish Irish? in general, molding America? We've talked a little bit about, we've hinted on that, of course, but what else? What else did they kind of influence a lot of?
Well, because of that Jacksonian spirit, people call it, the culture of America was to come from nothing, go west, establish yourself, and become something. Get yourself out of the bottom and go to the top. Where else have we heard that before? What else is that?
As far as the American dream, is that what you're
Yes.
implying? Yeah.
This is my thing. The Scots-Irish mentality of doing these things becomes America. The whole culture of the Scots-Irish. You come from nothing, but you can be anything you want to be.
Uh-huh.
And they definitely have found that. Whereas before this, you've got the gentry and the landed and the rich people and things like that, and they're the only ones that can ever be something. Me, I'll just be a farmer the rest of my life. The Scots-Irish said no.
So yeah, I guess I got some gentry in me, man. I'm sorry.
Last name Gentry, yeah. Gentry isn't like wealthy people kind of thing, but
yeah, now that not so much, but yeah, last name Gentry.
Yeah, man. So we're almost done here, and I guess now we're talking about the other ways the Scots-Irish molded American culture.
Religion, of course, was a big part of that.
Yes, right.
Protestant, yeah. Protestant.
Well, on the backcountry, that's where you get all the denominations are starting.
Oh, yeah.
All over the place. I don't like how they do it, so we do it the way we're going to do it here.
That is true, and that's a very interesting. You get the second awakening and all that stuff with the Cane Ridge revival and all that. But that is one reason why there are so many churches, per se, in Rockcastle County, in Lincoln County. There's probably 60 churches in each county in Kentucky. If that's a exaggeration possibly, but that's a guess. But that's a lot, and it's exactly what you just said. It's like we're gonna do our things our way. You do it your way, and
and that,
there's a lot of churches, man.
That was not a lot. You were Anglican, man. You were the Church of England, or you were Catholic. That's it. That's it. There isn't all these other denominations and things that you'd want to be. So that is part of the backcountry, part of the Scots-Irish. So we've created a religion in our own nation here.
Yeah. Some other things. Country music. Oh well, I country music, but I would even say not necessarily country music. Country music defined as today. I wouldn't necessarily say that's the connection, but more like folk music, dances, clogging, those sorts of things. Those were big things. Folk dances, all that stuff. That's a big connection. That all came over from Scotland or Scots-Irish. They brought it with them.
Yeah, the people in the backcountry, those Scots-Irish, they brought their music from the old country, which became those bluegrass sounds that we're familiar with.
Yeah, I want to call it mountain music.
Absolutely, mountain music. Yeah, it's definitely mountain music, and that mountain music is the forebear of country music. It doesn't sound anything like that.
No, not a fan.
James fan, but don't answer that.
We got a comment here. Two or three here popped in there. Bluegrass, yes, bluegrass, Celtics. And then Sonia says they help in all our early wars due to never turning down a fight. Our early wars had many Scots-Irish, and that's very true.
Very much so. West Virginia is a state that always leads the nation in per capita, like per percentile, like how many people volunteer to fight.
Wow.
And also in the casualty rates, West Virginia always leads that. They're extremely proud of that. A lot of times there's not a lot of stuff to do, but they're very, very loyal. Their clan.
We got another comment. I got a comment on it because it's a really good one. But Cheryl says music and writing are gifts from the Scots-Irish, like Jesse Stewart. And Jesse Stewart, big fan of Jesse Stewart, great author.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, without a doubt. So notice I said they're very loyal to their clan.
hmm
Is
yes.
it? Does that mean what? How about today? You ain't from around here, are you, boy?
I've heard that. I've heard that before, I guess, or been on both sides of that, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah, you bring that up, and of course, being from Kentucky, I definitely feel that mentality around my area, and taking pride in that, where you're from. Um,
The fear of outsiders.
yeah, yeah,
And, I know you, and you're from my area. You're from my clan. I will fight for you. But this other guy over here, I'm not really trusting him so much.
hmm and that's big time. Yeah, I don't want to just say Eastern Kentucky because it's Eastern Kentucky, it's Central Kentucky, but you definitely get that mentality big time. Or I guess I said more in Eastern Kentucky as well, because that, like, Eastern Kentucky needs help. People come to help, but Eastern Kentucky oftentimes takes care of Eastern Kentucky.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, you've told many stories on your podcast about the rivalry, or the we want to keep the money here, not in the Central Kentucky.
oh yeah,
Rich people.
yeah. That's good. Go check out the podcast.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. You did. Yeah, did some stories about that. So yeah, that's definitely, they're very, very, very clannish, and that is a Celtic trait of being loyal to their people all the way back. They're very, very, very military people. They're very proud of their military heritage. Not that other people aren't, but if you look at the statistics, you can't deny it, man. They definitely are very, very proud of that. So then there's another something about their housing they think that has something to do with the Scots-Irish.
Their housing. Their housing.
Yeah. What's a common type of home up in Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, Western Virginia, North Carolina, Southern Ohio?
A cabin?
So,
No.
yeah.
Are we talking about more modern? I'm not.
Yeah. What type of houses are usually up there? Are they big fancy homes, big old mansions and things?
No, I mean pretty normal size. Nothing too extravagant house. They're on sides of mountains.
What about those ones that are like, what are they, 16 by 80s, 16
Oh,
wide?
trailers. Is that what you're talking about? Trailers. Okay.
Yeah, there is a lot of trailers.
Trailers. There you go.
Many
Yeah,
things.
there is.
The reason for that is that genetically, we don't care so much about our housing. And that goes back to the borders with Scotland, between Scotland and England, where they're constantly battling. Your house is getting kicked in. Your house is getting burned down.
Yeah.
Why do I want to build a fancy house for, man? It's going to be torn down in no time anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's just one of those other little things there. So,
Yeah. All right.
redneck. You know where that term supposedly comes from?
I know of one theory that it comes from, and that would be back in the early 1900s when there was the big coal strikes come on in West Virginia and Eastern Kentucky. People would tie a bandana around their necks, and they would be called rednecks. That's one.
Yeah. There's multiple theories, isn't there?
Yeah, there's other theories, but so that's one of the one I read about a long time ago. But what's another one?
Well, the Scottish Covenanters, that were the Presbyterians fighting against the Anglican Church. They also wore red bandanas. And those are the people that they ended up sending to the Ulster plantation that became the backcountry of United States. Therefore, they're just a bunch of rednecks. And the Eastern establishment didn't hate them, but they didn't want them part of their country. Neither did the Irish later on, about 100 years ago. No Irish need apply. So there's a lot of different theories on where that term comes from, and redneck is definitely a term that means something a little different today, but pretty cool stuff.
Pretty cool. So my question for you, I guess, kind of to wrap things up here, Jackson was definitely probably the foremost, I I guess, Scots-Irish, who really kind of, I guess, emboldened that spirit. But any other presidents?
Yep.
A lot, I would assume.
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Lots of them have roots to there. James, you want me to read them?
Sure, let's hear them, man.
Yeah, James Polk, James Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses Grant, Chester Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, William McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Harry Truman, Lyndon Baines Johnson, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama. Actually, are presidents that have Scots-Irish roots.
That's about 20, I think, if I counted.
Yeah,
correctly. Almost half. Almost more than half. Wow.
With Scots-Irish roots,
Yeah.
So, and my summary statement is these people came. Many of them didn't have very much, never had hardly anything. Their ancestors came from squat. They came from log cabins and 40 acres out in the woods that they had to clear. And their descendants became presidents. They became senators. They became, conquerors and warriors and things. And that is daggone something to be proud of. So,
I agree.
And that spirit has become the United States of America and who we are. No matter what, if you're Scots-Irish or not, if you're Japanese, whatever, that is the American spirit, that you can come here and you can be whatever you want. And many believe that started with the Scots-Irish.
Yep. And I guess for me, excuse me, for me, you're looking at those early settlers in Kentucky. You got Simon Kenton, Daniel Boone, Benjamin Logan. Brought that with them. That's what paved the way. And numerous people, they came and settled Kentucky, and some of them, like we said, maybe a generation. The next generation did move on to Indiana, Missouri, all on and on. But they came to Kentucky first, and they set that up, and it became the best state in the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and a lot of that still stays. A lot of that heritage is still here. I'm big into the bluegrass music, I guess you could call it Americana music, folk music, however you want to say it. And that all relates back, all connects back to it. So
it definitely does.
That's it, man. I've learned a lot. I've learned a whole bunch. Somebody did ask, was Lincoln? I'm guessing no, Lincoln wasn't, or maybe not. Do what? English?
English, yeah. And his father Thomas was, backwoods, but if you look where Thomas was born, going on back, they weren't as poor. So. Joshua Clayton says, great show, guys. Cheryl says, George Bush and Obama and I share a Scot-Irish ancestor. So wow, that's pretty neat. Wow, so your cousins in that cousin triangle, George Bush.
Yeah,
that's pretty nifty. I reckon if we go back, man, we're going to find out that all of us are connected when you start getting back that far, for sure. I've read once where if you have an ancestor from XYZ country, that you are no further than 12th cousins from somebody else who has ancestry from that country. So, if you go back further enough, it's impossible for us to not be connected.
Juanita also says, Country Music Highway. It's a pretty awesome place.
Route 23, man. Writing and Route 23, man. That's everybody that come out of Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, and came up to Ohio, and that's another migration. That's another show right there. But I feed into that one too.
We got a few more. Let's see. Michael Andrew says Scottish. Graham and Grime was his family names. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Definitely is.
So
after that, I guess, heading out of here though, besides the fact that the Scots-Irish have molded America, besides all that, the other thing that we learn here is Scots-Irish Irish? Yes. Is it Scottish? Yes. Is it English? Yes. Is it British? Kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of thing. Is Irish Scots-Irish? No. But is Scots-Irish Irish? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Michelle does say, Bell County 9 generations. My Scots Irish love these mountains and stayed. Hey, that's true, man. Bell County, Middlesboro, Pineville.
Yeah.
Good places. Pine Mountain.
Loyal to her clan up there, that's for sure. So I can dig it.
Yep.
So what's next for you guys? I think next week we've got something special. But what's next for Kentucky History Podcast?
So I got a few videos coming. A new video coming out on Saturday about a Kentucky county or the name, who the county is named after, and our part 2 of the Marion Miley, the murder of Marion Miley. We talked to Beverly Bell about her book she wrote about it. Part 2 of that interview comes out on Sunday as well. And I'm very close, so close to getting a Kentucky history website ready to roll. So hopefully that works.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Go Daddy. But but we've got all kinds of stuff going on here in the next few days. I don't even know where to begin to tell you.
Videos come out daily for Family Tree Nuts, man.
Yeah,
I get the notifications all the time. So hit those notifications.
Yeah, the next few days we got some out west stuff coming out. I think the Old Spanish Trail video hits tomorrow, and then which is a really cool. It's a lot different than our videos. You'll hear some Mexican music and stuff on there and stuff, but it's a lot anyway. But we've got so many things we got coming up here. I just don't even know what to tell you. Things are booming all over the place. We're adding team members that we haven't even introduced yet and things. But so make sure you check it out. Stand by on that. So. And what we got next with our show? What do we got next week?
Transylvania Company. The possibility of a Transylvania state.
Dracula? You talking
Dracula
about?
in America?
Come to suck your blood or something like that? Is that totally different, Transylvania?
Totally different. Not even close.
Absolutely. All righty. Well, man, I guess we can head out of here. Do you anything you want to say before we go?
No. Thanks for watching. That's been a good one. I've learned a lot. So
man,
good.
Love it. Very proud. Very, very proud to be Scots-Irish myself. So, and hey, remember, family tree nuts. Let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.
Are we there?
Welcome to Family Tree Nuts. This video is to tell you who we are and what we do. I'm Russ Carson Jr., the genealogist and the founder of Family Tree Nuts. And for years, I kept hearing people say, I'd love to know about my ancestors, but I don't know how, I don't have the time, and I don't want to pay for those expensive membership fees. So in 2017, I founded Family Tree Nuts. Family Tree Nuts is a full-service history and genealogy service with nuts, some people would call them teammates, all over the country. First and foremost, our primary mission is to build family trees for clients. We do the research and build simple or detailed family trees and provide our clients with professionally written reports that are keepsakes forever. We have many different levels of our service plans to meet most needs or budgets. Our plans are listed on our website, and we can provide you with many, many different examples and testimonials. We also produce historic videos, and we make 3 different types of these videos. First, we make videos about historical people or places. Many of these are produced for historical and tourism organizations. Second, ancestor stories, which are with a client at a relevant location of an ancestor sharing their story. And third, life interviews, with elder family members documenting their lives. We make many of these videos on Facebook Live, so be on the lookout for those as well. Thanks for checking us out, and make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know how we can help you with your history and genealogy needs. You can contact us at info@familytreenuts.org. And remember, Family Tree Nuts, let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.